Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be restoring one of the most desirable and iconic wheels that came from Japan, the OG Desmond Evo Regamaster. Now, I want to start off by saying these were actually originally made and designed in Russia from 1995 to the early 2000s. That company went under and then someone in Japan took them over and then started reproducing them. These are the same wheels as the anodized black Spoon SW388, which is an insanely popular wheel and every Honda boy's wet dream. These are actually not the made in Russia ones. Those are technically the OG ones, but these are the early production Japanese models of the Desmond Evo Regamasters. As you saw from all the before footage, these are in dire need of a restoration. These have actually been refinished before by somebody else, I'm not sure who, but they have been powder coated. There are a lot of issues, especially down by the valve stems on the outer barrel. There is a ton, and I mean a ton of chunks of powder, dirt and debris all stuck in there. Around the valve stem hole, I'm not sure how they hung them, but there is a massive chunk of powder stuck on there still. You can actually see with the valve stem in, there is a massive black chunk of powder still right there. The powder has been put on very thick, causing a crazy orange peel effect all on the front of the wheels. All the stamping that you see here on the spoke, which is the JWL VIA, which is a certification for wheel manufacturers, all of that is filled in quite a bit too much. The back pads of the wheels and center bore have all been powder coated, and these wheels are notoriously prone to cracking due to how thin and lightweight the back beads are. This wheel right here actually has 2 cracks on one wheel, and one of the other wheels also has 2 cracks. Along with the cracks, there's also some inner bends and an outer bend as well. There's also some curb rash, some chipping, and some nicks all along the edges of these wheels. And lastly, an insane amount of brake dust is actually stuck into the powder coat, which the customer cannot get out. He's tried a detailer, he's tried products, but that is stuck in there for life. Before I can start on any of these repairs, let's get these in the chemical stripper, get them stripped down to bare metal so we can see what we're working with. Now, it's been about a week since I got these chemical stripped. I've just been busy doing regular stuff in the shop that I don't film. And I've kind of been putting these off because of the amount of work that these now need on top of the already bends and crack repairs that they initially needed. You can't see right now, I'll zoom in, but I posted these on my social media pages on Facebook and Instagram, and they went pretty viral. I got hundreds of comments, thousands of likes, tens of thousands of views. These have been shot peened, which is a basically steel little tiny ball like pellets. That is too rough for aluminum. So whoever did these either is an industrial shop and had no business taking on wheels, and especially the customer had no business taking these to an industrial type shop that did blasting so rough. Now, we know already that this coating was on too thick, and that's for 2 reasons. One, they hot flock them, which means you heat the wheels up and spray the powder directly on. There's no need for doing that. You build film thickness way too fast, and you end up putting way too much powder on than is needed. Or you're hiding something, and you can kind of mix the two. You can hot flock it to build film thickness because your blast profile is so aggressive and so rough like these wheels. Now, I should have had the intuition to know that if it's on thick, it's to hide something. I didn't really think anything of, well, this blast profile is probably too rough, that's why it's on thick. If you watched my last video on the Subaru piping and stuff like that, you know that I deal with this kind of job on the regular. This is nothing new. I see this on a weekly basis. I just didn't think of it at the time when the customer brought them to say, hey, the blast profile might be too rough. I might have to sand this down prior, but these are as rough as the surface of the moon. So the plan now is to sand the metal down. I've got to spend hours and hours and hours sanding the metal, especially in all of these pockets right here, inside the center bore, inside all of the windows, obviously in the center, the front of the spokes, the lip, even the barrel, back of the face. The hub, I don't want to touch too much because I don't want to make it out of basically level or out, make it wavy, so that it would cause vibrations when it's on the vehicle. So that's one area I don't really want to sand really at all, but I will just a little bit. But this wheel in and out needs to get sanded pretty much all by hand by certain tools, and it's gonna take me hours to do. So here's a good example of what the stages look like. I just mentioned that I'm going to be sanding the wheels down to get rid of this crazy rough profile. I've had to get inside all these are called the windows. I've got inside the pockets with the Dremel tool, and the rest of it I've sanded. I've put it on my machine, which is basically a wheel balancer that continuously spins at variable speeds. I've managed to sand the lips all the way around the barrels, the entire inside, the back of the face, as I'll show you in a minute, but this is the stages from before, during, and after. As you can see, very rough. This one I did send out and get some two cracks repaired on the same wheel that was actually welded previously. All we've done is taken away the previous guy's welding and added our own welds just for security. I would hate for someone else's cracks to re-crack once these are put on the vehicle. So we've welded them up knowing our cracked repairs are going to be good. So as you can see, before, this is during, nicely sanded. It's not 100%. There are still some pits, as you can see. Hard to reach little corners like this when it's spinning. I have a big metal sanding cone here, and it's hard to get all my sanding tools and pads and stuff like that in here, but I know this is going to cover well. Same with in here. It's really hard to get in this corner, but the difference is significant. This is nice and smooth. I hit this with 80 grit on a palm sander, and now look at the difference in the lettering. This one, you can barely tell, and now we've got some definition back right here. The whole outside is redone. Again, it's not gonna be perfect. Primers are gonna cover this, but after it's done and re-blasted, it softens out some of that pitting again and makes this look very, very nice. And on the back side, you've obviously seen this from the befores. I have to grind down the welds, smooth them all out, and make them look like they were never there. But the inside, I got the back of the face as well. It's a bit hard to get some of this, but it's the back side. I do want it to look as good as the front and the outside, but I know that's gonna cover and look really nice with the primer. The inside's all sanded, all the dark spots you see, obviously is the low spots and some corrosion. But once it's all re-blasted, it's a nice uniform finish, a uniform profile. These are gonna look really good. With all 4 wheels completely blasted, they're hung up and ready to go. The next thing to do is to get these things coated. Of course, I'm gonna be using my favorite primer, Tiger Drylax Dry Protector Primer. It's gonna smooth out this wheel from any pitting that I've missed or haven't sanded thoroughly enough. This wheel is gonna look amazing. I'll show you after it's cured. And just like that, a coat of Dry Protector Primer smoothed everything out, and fortunately, they turned out like glass as always. If you've watched previous videos, you'll see Dry Protector Primer just works flawlessly every single time. There was no outgassing bubbles or little dust nips to sand out on these, especially being a big flat surface area like these 5 spokes. It's really important to make sure that all the tops of these spokes are flawless before laying down the final coat, which is a high gloss white. And if you remember, not too long ago, I showed you how thick this was put on. So obviously the thickness will hide all things like stampings or any body lines. We had a big drip edge around the spokes just due to the coating being on too heavy. That's why it was really important to sand down the metal to make sure the metal was smooth before putting on coating regularly as it should. 2 coats of powder coat done cold, as you say in the industry, at room temperature, and then you bake it in the oven. Another little detail I like to do to these wheels, on the back pad there's actually all the information about the wheels. It says made in Russia, all the specs, and of course the load rating on the wheels. I like to fill that in with a paint pen. Just that way it stands out, it's easily legible, and you can see all that stuff to make sure that they are authentic wheels. Now the customer's on his way, he's actually got the full sticker kit for these, so I'm gonna put the stickers on, I'm gonna show you what these look like after. So just be very careful next time you wanna send your expensive or rare wheels to a refinishing shop or a powder coater. Definitely do research on how they blast, how they coat, especially if they're hot flocking, which is preheating the wheel and then coating, versus coating the wheel and then putting it in the oven. You wanna make sure they do all the correct masking procedures like the back pads and the center bores, and how they're gonna hang the wheel not to leave any crazy marks, or just in general if they're gonna use a primer or sand out any damages, or the repairs, how they look before and after. Definitely do your research and ask all these questions, see pictures before you decide to actually take your stuff to a shop that you're gonna trust. Hopefully you learned something from this video and you're taking this as a precaution not to just go absolutely anywhere that can just put a new color on your wheel. That's the least important thing. Luckily, I could sand down this metal and save it the best I can. Hopefully you learned something from this video and not just to trust absolutely anybody that has powder coating in their name. Hopefully you like the results of these wheels, how they look completely finished. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next project.